Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Monotooi, coach of the Tampa Bay Lux Rays, and today I'm bringing you guys Game 3 of the Pokemon Draft World Cup, of course, created by RhyQuinn. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, definitely check out his channel, as well as the little teaser video I uploaded a couple days ago. So this game, we are going up against Freedomeon, cool guy. As you can see on his side, he has Sylveon, Entei, Jellicent, Rotom-Mow, Noivern, and Scizor. So, very kind of scary team. Like, his team was pretty offensively spooky. Noivern's actually a pretty big problem to my team because it outspeeds everything, and 2 KOs or OKOs, pretty much all of it, bar my Clefable and possibly Gliscor. Sylveon is just always a problem. My team doesn't have great fairy resist. He has a lot of offensive threats to my team, but I do have a lot of offensive threats to his team as well. He doesn't have a great Houndoom switch-in. I am carrying Sludge Bomb for the Sylveon, plus Dual Stab, that pretty much hits everything on his team. Clefable is a major problem as soon as I get rid of the Scizor, as well as the Entei. Plus I can paralyze everything in his team, bar the Rotom. Gliscor is going to be obnoxious. Cloyster even can put in a little bit of work. I'm carrying HP Fire on this, and after a Shell Smash I can knock out the Scizor, and I can possibly sweep him. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into our team real quick. Like I said, I have a Life Orb, Houndoom, Dual Stab, Sludge Bomb, Nasty Plot. I have standard Clefable, so Moonblast, Thunderwave, Calm Mind, Soft Boiled, standard EV spread, specially defensive Gliscor to kind of take on this, no, physically defensive Gliscor to sort of take on the Gliscor, mostly the Entei, as well as the Scizor. Life Orb Gengar, meant to just rip through his team, Shell Smashing, White Herb Cloyster, and then Stealth Rocking Seismitoad. So, without further ado, let's get into the game. He is going to lead with his Noivern. He's going to frisk my Rindo Berry. So even if he's carrying the Power of Solar Beam, he's not going to be able to go for it here. He's just going to U-turn out, as I believe I decide to set up my Stealth Rock here, which is really nice. And on this turn, I believe I go for the Toxic in order to whittle this thing down, as he goes for the Taunt, which is nice because I outsped the thing, and I obviously got the Toxic off. He's forced to go with Heal Bell on his Sylveon later on if he has it. And here I'm going to go out into my Clefable, trying to dodge a Will-O-Wisp or whatever he wants to go for. I'm running a decent bit of speed on this Clefable just so that I can outspeed this Jellicent, which is really nice. I could have gone for a Calm Mind there, but I decided to go for the Moonblast for damage instead, as he does decide to go for the Taunt, which is totally fine because I can tank hits from this thing easily. He's getting really worn down. I can just fire off another Moonblast, which is exactly what I do, as he is going to go for the recovery here, but he's wasting his own Taunt turns. He is also getting whittled by the Toxic, so this is a losing battle for him. So on the following turn, he's going to get up out of there, and he is going to go out into a Scizor, as I go for another Moonblast, just to get some chip damage off onto it, and it does a nice chunklet of damage, which is really nice. Here, I am going to go out into my Seismitoad, just to threaten this thing a bit. As you're going to see here, he goes right for the U-turn. Based on that damage, I know he is Adamant Max Attack, because that does a ton of damage, and he's going to go out right out into his Noivern. And I can save this thing, so I'm going to switch out into my Clefable, which is able to dodge a Hurricane, which is kind of nice. It wouldn't have been able to do enough to me to knock me out, but it would have done a decent amount of damage, possibly could have confused me and such. So here, he's going to send in his Entei on another Moonblast. I could live the Sacred Fire here if he has it, and then go for a Thunder Wave on this thing, but I didn't want to risk the damage, and I'm very glad I didn't, because he actually has Iron Head. And on the following turn, as you're going to see here, he reveals that he is not choiced and is able to pick me off with the Extreme Speed. So he wasn't Assault Vest based on the Moonblast damage, and he's not Choice Banded, so I'm not exactly sure what this thing was. But regardless, I know he's not Assault Vest. I can go out into my Gengar and threaten him out with the Sludge Wave, which is exactly what I'm going to do, except he stays in, and he lets me kill his Entei, which is great, because that was a big threat to my team. Here, he's going to go out into his Noivern, once again, going to frisk the Life Orb, and I am going to save my Gengar because it's still a huge threat and go out into my Clefable. He does hit the Hurricane this time, but it's not able to do enough, as Clefable's easily able to tank that, and then I can threaten out something on his team. Here, I expect him to want to switch out, as he reveals to not be choiced in any way, goes for the U-turn as I send in my Gliscor, as he instead goes into his Sylveon, and I do not have a switch into this, so Gliscor, I was going to go for the Earthquake to get some damage off, and then I am going to die, because Spec Sylveon's really strong. But the good news is, I can send my Gengar in once again, and I believe on this turn, I do go for the Sludge Wave, because I didn't expect him to send in his Scizor. I can live a Bullet Punch and hit him with the Hidden Power Fire, which I do have on this thing. But he's going to go out in a Jellicent, which will take the one Sludge Wave and then die to the Shadow Ball afterwards, which is nice. Because Jellicent was also kind of annoying. My Clefable is a little bit more free now. He's going to send out his Scizor here. Bullet Punch has a good chance to kill me, so I'm going to switch out into my Houndoom, which can tank the Bullet Punch, not well, but it can take it, and then I can just fire off an attack that nothing wants to switch into. So he's going to send in his Rotom-Mow, basically as a sack, as I'm able to go for the Life Orb Flamethrower and just knock him clean out, which is really nice. And now, he's going to go out into his Noivern. Unfortunately, I don't have Sucker Punch on this thing, which really sucks, so I'm going to have to go back out into... I'm actually going to sack my Cloyster, because Cloyster is like not doing anything, but he goes for the Tailwind, surprisingly enough. And unfortunately, I'm not carrying Ice Shard, as I was told I should every time I run Cloyster, so I'm going to lose my Cloyster. Unfortunate. Bound to happen, though. He's going to Draco Meteor, which leaves him at -2 special attack, which means I can safely go into my Clefable, and I believe just heal up here. As I go for the Calm Mind so that I can beat his Sylveon 1v1, which is really nice. So, I'm going to Calm Mind up. He's going to Hyper Voice. Still does a lot of damage, but Clefable is just bulky enough to tank that without it doing over half. So I'm just going to paralyze this Sylveon, and then I will just soft-boiled until he eventually gets fully paralyzed, or he crits me, although I'm hoping for the full paralysis. Definitely do not want the crit, because that would be very bad for me. But I'm going to soft-boiled up once again. On this turn, he does get paralyzed, and I'm going to play with fire a little bit, and I believe I go for another Calm Mind here, just because I want to be able to take on the Noivern as best as possible, and I want to be at enough special attack so that the Scizor cannot set up on me. That's basically my goal at this point, because I can win with Gengar plus Houndoom versus the Scizor and the Noivern, more than likely, as he would have to hit 2 Hurricanes, but anyway, he's going to get fully paralyzed, as I expected he would, just because the chance of him getting fully parried is more likely than him critting me. So again, I'm still playing with fire here, but I just do not want his Scizor to get a free switch in and be able to set up an SD on me, because he will be able to win if that does happen. Thankfully here, once I get to this amount of special attack and this much special defense, I am going to knock him out with the Moonblast. His Scizor cannot OHKO me from this point, which is really nice, and I can hit him with the Moonblast. Turns out he actually didn't have SD. I believe he didn't have SD, which was nice for me. Like I said, the Moonblast is able to do enough to him to the point where I can 2 KO him, and the Bullet Punch fails to knock me out, and unless his Noivern gets a crit on my Clefable and hits 2 Hurricanes versus my Houndoom and my Gengar, I will be able to win this game 3-0. And as you can see here, he's going to come in, going to frisk the leftovers, going to hit the Hurricane, but it's not enough, and I will be able to knock out the Noivern. So Clefable, this is basically the Clefable show. Early game, it was a lot of Gengar picking things off. Viscore did its best versus the Sylveon. Rocks were pretty important, but at the end, again, it was just Clefable doing what Clefable does. And this is one of the things I'm going to miss in Sun and Moon, is Clefable's brokenness, because they're obviously nerfing T-Wave, but regardless, I'm going to take advantage of it as much as I can now, and it did really, really well versus Fredo's team. Again, he could have crit me at any point there, and then I probably would have lost the game, but thankfully, Pokemon decided to be nice and let me not get crit. So that's the game. We are going to win 3-0. We are going to move on to bracket play, which is exciting, and I believe our first opponent is actually going to be PaullyMac, somebody we have a little bit of a history with, so that's going to be exciting. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you are looking forward to bracket play. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and have a nice day, everyone.